Barry in Cape Town, South Africa. I'd like to visit there someday. I've never been able to get there. Anyway, Barry writes to me and he says, so often my internet searches on anything audiophile related leave me more confused than when I started. Thankfully, a non-AI entity by the name of Paul McGowan inevitably delivers the goods. Yeah, they haven't cloned me yet. Okay. I have a Frankenstein audio streamer based on a Raspberry Pi feeding into a vintage NAD amp. It has become a gateway for me to get into high-res internet radio streaming. My question is, when I'm listening to one of these stations, after an hour or so, I find myself turning the volume down. But with Octave Radio, time and again, I turn the volume up. Can you shed some light on this? Sure, and thank you for that. I work really hard, as does Jessica, as does my wife Terry. It's basically the three of us run Octave Records. And one of the things I'm really pleased with, Terry is getting into learning how to mix. The Pyramix system is a bit daunting to learn, but Terry's up for it. She has a great ear, a better ear than I do. And she is learning how to run the board and to make mixes. And you know, I'm so thrilled by that she's doing that. She's so good at it. Anyway, so one of the precepts of Octave is no compression, okay? Now, the vast majority of what you're going to find on the internet is a combination of compressed sound playing compressed music. And when we take dynamics and we squeeze them down into an overall loudness, it is fatiguing, right? You don't get a break at all. And it sounds louder. I mean, this started years ago, back when I was in radio. This was in the 1960s and 70s. I was a rock and roll DJ. And this was a time when FM tuners were in cars and in homes. We had record players and FM radio. That's basically what we had. The loudest station on the dial, when you scrolled through the chick, 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 all that, boom, one of these loud stations came in. That's the one that most people stayed at. And that's how you got more listeners. And more listeners meant more advertisers. More advertisers meant more money, right? It's this circular thing. We weren't interested in quality. We were interested in audience numbers. Well, actually, we were. My friend Jim Mussel, who was the engineer, and I decided, and the station owner never knew about this. He probably would have shot us if he'd found out. We turned the compressor in the station off. And to back up, the way you got the station louder, because there's certain limits. The FCC says you can only play it so loud. So in order to get it louder, you have to bring the soft parts up and make them louder. That's compression. And you take the dynamic range and you squeeze it up here, and now everything is really loud. That's what they do today. That gets very fatiguing. So Jim Mussel and I said, this sounds horrible. Why can't we make it sound like hi-fi? And we were just getting into hi-fi. So we took the compressor off, threw it out. I mean, it was there. So the owner didn't know. And I mean, that station sounded close to the records, and it was wonderful. Well, anyway, at Octave Records, we don't use compression. We work really hard at giving you full dynamics. So the soft parts are really soft, and the loud parts are really loud. And everything in between is just like live music. And that is why you wind up turning it up as opposed to turning it down. Okay? For those of you that don't know, you can go to our website, psaudio.com, go to Octave Records, and you'll see, or even at the top header up there, you'll see Octave Radio. And you can click on it and play it, and then you can see where the URL is, and then you can tune it in on your Raspberry Pi. All right, thanks. Bye.